This is an original battlefield. This is something or someone.
Is there anybody there?
That don't want us here.
Get down here, I'll fight you.
It's not humanly possible to do what all took place there that night.
You don't hear the thing coming. It's just all of a sudden, we can't fight something we can't see.
It was like having a nightmare.
You could just feel like the hair on the back of your neck standing up. You just knew that you weren't completely alone.
I remember thinking, we should not be doing this, and we don't know what we're going to run into.
We're definitely not alone out here.
There was intent in these eyes, and there was aggression in these eyes.
Seth, where are you? Seth!
And I'm standing there just in blank confusion. What am I seeing?
Help!
Jonesville, Virginia is in the southwest part of Virginia.
All right, let's get this stuff unloaded here.
My name is Bill White, and for 20 years, I've done hundreds of reenactments, both Union and Confederate Civil War, living history reenactments.
My name is Frank White.
What a beaut.
It's sort of a good way to spend the weekend with my son and for us to do things together.
That day we set up away from everyone else. It was part of the original battlefield. We're completely surrounded by woods. I know that a lot of relics have been found in that area. And we know that there was a Union battery that was placed where we were camped that night.
Steve, great to see you. Great to see you too. You're with us this time.
They always have a certain date that they have a Civil War reenactment. A lot of people, that's the only time we ever see them.
Should be good and quiet up here.
So this is where the actual artillery camped the night before the battle?
Yeah, right here in this patch.
Wow.
Fun, eh?
Cheers to the battle tomorrow.
It was a very calm night, no wind blowing.
I got a little something here for Johnny Reb.
We're sitting around talking in our camp.
Look at this little beaut.
Yeah, shine the chrome off of that.
Who's that? Probably just a branch or something.
I don't think so.
Ah, it just fell.
Maybe.
Thinking back, whether that was a sign or what, I don't know.
Then on Saturday, we had the battle. These are like a wrestling match. We already know who's going to win before it starts. We planned these battles out to make it look as historically accurate as we can get it. Jonesville, Virginia was a small skirmish in the eyes of the history books for Civil War battles. But there was several on either side that lost their life. After the battle, we go back to camp. We were gathered together playing some music just down from the battlefield.
It got getting late, so Stephen said, I'm going to camp.
You guys have a great night.
Good night.
Nobody thought nothing about it.
Is anybody there? Hello?
After a while, I heard Stephen hollering,
Bill!
Bill! Bill! Get up here!
And we take off up there. I hear Stephen yelling.
Bill!
And when I got up there was Stephen, and he was scared to death.
What happened?
Stephen told us as he went up from the music, and he sees the white of our tents, and he sees this silhouette. Which is odd because nobody messes around with each other's tents. And he couldn't make out what it was. It's just this dark object. So he gets closer and closer and closer. As he gets close to the tent, there's nothing there.
He said, something come out of my tent there, and said it knocked me down.
And as he starts to look for whoever it is, he sees nobody. When he was telling us the story, you could tell he was scared. There was something that just wasn't right about whatever it was that was in our tent. And he said they must have had a hood on because there was just like a silhouette that he could see.
Anything missing?
After we got the story, we start looking around in our tents. Dad's wallet is laying in there, not messed with. We had cell phones, lots of modern stuff, not touched.
Took my old watch and pocket knife.
Stephen found that a pocket watch and a pocket knife was missing. The only thing that was touched was stuff that would have been of the period.
Go that way. I'll check over here. All right.
We start searching, go looking for someone who's been messing in camp, because reenactors take care of each other.
Hey, do you see anybody coming through here?
We start asking people, okay, do you see anybody come by here? Nope.
All right, thanks.
Anything?
And nobody's seen anything.
I usually go to bed early and get up early. Well, I went on to bed.
Hey, Dad.
Me and Stephen sat at the fire. At that point, it's confusion, because that stuff doesn't happen in a reenactment. Me and Stephen are talking, and smack. Something hits my truck.
What's that?
It was just the start of what would happen to us for the rest of the night. Something hits my truck that is sitting over beside the tents.
What the?
When I saw that horseshoe, I didn't know what to think. How in the world did they get it from the tent? Without us hearing anybody, without us seeing anybody. We never left camp, never left it unguarded. There's no way.
Dad!
I heard him hollering, "Dad, Dad,
Dad!
get up, get up."
Come out.
It was the fear in his voice that scared me.
He hears that. What's going on? I explained to him, well, there's stuff being thrown at us.
You see them at all? Where are they?
And there's nothing. There's nobody. At that point, we pick up modern guns. Dad stays with the camp. Me and Stephen are spread out. We start looking. A stick about this long and about that big around hits a tree about 6 foot in the air beside of me. Now, at no time did you hear it coming through the trees. You don't hear the thing coming. It's just all of a sudden, there it is. And just after the stick, a rock comes from a different direction. And you start looking in those directions. no movement there. There's nothing. Rocks the size of your fist. Starts flop, flop, flop. 2 or 3 happens over here. 2 or 3 happens over here. And all from different directions.
I didn't know whether to hide behind a tree or what, because I didn't know where it was coming from. But I could just feel a rock hit me upside the head any time, you know.
How could they get from one place to the other? That's creepy. And then for a few minutes, everything's calm. We're looking around trees. We're looking in any nook and cranny that someone could be hiding in.
He got hit in the shoulder.
I knew it was dangerous before, but now all of a sudden someone's hit. It's scary. Not only to the point where we're trying to figure out what it is, but it's scary, dangerous, scary. Somewhere in the middle there, I did start thinking about, okay, I've heard one of the guys in our unit said that he woke up in the middle of the night and saw a image of a Union soldier. And then you start thinking, okay, this is an original battlefield. This is something or someone that don't want us here.
It was like having a nightmare. It was just like a dream.
So I just throw up my hands and said, we can't stay here. We can't fight something we can't see. And the moment when I started packing up, all of a sudden, everything stopped. There was no more rocks. There was no more sticks. There was nothing. And it takes us 30, 45 minutes to get packed up and get out of there. And during that whole time, I noticed nothing. I know that it was real. And it's not just me. All of us experienced it. There's no way for me to convey to you the feelings that I had and the stuff that went on and how strange it actually was.
It was something supernatural. Couldn't have been nothing humanly, because it's not humanly possible to do what all took place there that night.
I believe in spirits. There's things out there that we can't see.
I don't really know the answer, but I do know one thing. It did happen. No matter what or how anybody else believes, if they had have been there and have seen it, they'd be just like me. They would be a believer too. That would make a believer out of anybody.
And you could just feel like the hair on the back of your neck standing up. You just knew that you weren't completely alone.
I remember thinking, we should not be doing this, and we don't know what we're going to run into.
We're definitely not alone out here.
There was intent in these eyes, and there was aggression in these eyes.
Seth, where are you? Seth!
And I'm standing there just in blank confusion. What am I seeing?
Help!
My name is Jesse Olney. I love the outdoors. I love to go camping. I love to go hiking. A number of years ago, my brother and I decided that we were going to go to an abandoned building and explore and just adventure seek.
My name is Seth Olney. I've always very much enjoyed exploring. From a young kid, I loved going into the woods.
So this happened in a chunk of woods, just about 2 hours northwest of Des Moines. It was early fall.
We'd been in these woods before, and we knew exactly the way we should take.
You got the flashlight and the beers? In the back.
We wanted to explore this old building next to this area of woods. It was something we like to do as our pastime.
Let's go.
There's so many trees in this specific area that as you're walking, you can only see, 20, 30, 40 feet.
Nature, man. Gotta love it.
Walking through these trees and this woods, you're hearing a little bit of rolling leaves with a light breeze. You can hear a bubbling creek off in the distance.
Once we left the car to go to the building, it took us only 15 minutes to get through those woods.
Here it is. Let's go check it out.
So yeah, we just wanted to explore this building, but it was weird.
This place is really cool, dude. Yeah. Let's explore.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Felt like there was something else there with us. Something was watching our every move. It's a very uncomfortable feeling.
Hey, you all right?
Yeah, dude. This place is wild, man.
remember thinking, we should not be doing this, and we don't know what we're going to run into.
I don't feel comfortable here, man. It's like there's something watching us.
I'm getting really freaked out.
Let's split.
We decided to head back to the woods to head home.
There was something very weird back there. Let's get back to the car.
It was only going to be a 10 to 15 minute walk. It wasn't anything that we hadn't done before. We'd been in these woods before. We're familiar with them.
As we walked back into the forest, I remember the forest being quiet. I don't remember hearing other sounds. No crickets, nothing. It was quiet. It was within probably 5 minutes of being back in these woods, we were like, where are we?
Look around. Where are we?
We're right by the,
As we got deeper into the woods, we started to realize that we were getting confused.
Wait, we were on the path.
It was like it was a completely different area. And we had made that walk about an hour before with zero problem.
It's this way. Come on.
Wait.
We started taking the wrong paths. It seemed like things had changed.
This confusion set in to where we didn't necessarily know which direction we were walking.
Should we turn this way? Should we turn that way?
It's that way, right?
No, it's that way. We're going that way.
We were irritated. We were frustrated.
We're going that way.
He drove us nuts. I mean, this has been almost 10 years. I still can't explain to you why this was happening.
Come on. There's a trail up ahead.
I see ahead of us there's a path, and we're gonna just walk down that. And I suggest, hey, let's see if we can just follow this path, and maybe this will help us get out.
I've already been here. We're walking around in circles, Jesse.
Shh. Did you hear that?
And in the midst of that, I start to hear like twigs snapping.
We started hearing these loud thuds behind us.
Probably just a deer.
And obviously there's a lot of deer in Iowa. So immediately I started to just assume it's probably a deer.
And it sounded like footsteps, but like heavy footsteps, not like a human.
There's no way that's a deer.
It was something very large.
It was probably between 10 o'clock and midnight. I started to just like try to figure out what could be following us. I mean, we're in the middle of the woods at night. What could it be? There was a tense feeling in the air. You have the feeling where your hair is standing up on the back of your neck.
I don't think we're alone here.
And we look up and we find this very large branch that had been twisted off. 8 foot up, like snapped. It had been like literally just wound and just snapped off. And there was this substance on it.
And this clear residue was dripping from the bite mark.
Something's been chewing on it?
Do you realize how big that thing would have to be to get up there?
It looked like saliva dripping down the branch.
You're right. We're definitely not alone out here.
I would say these sounds they were probably definitely 30 to 40 feet behind us.
Who's out there?
I'm looking and I'm seeing nothing. And that was what also added to the whole confusion.
Who's out there?
You're trying to rationalize what could be following you. I don't think deer like to follow people. We started to hear what seemed like bodies moving through the woods.
Dude, did you hear that?
They seem to be coming towards us.
We were both basically frozen in fear.
I don't like this, man.
I have no idea what could be coming at us.
There's definitely something out there.
We just want it out.
Bro, let's get out of here.
It felt like there's 2 or 3 individual things following us.
Seth, wait up. Seth, we gotta find a way out of here.
It seems like something is pushing us through the woods in a sense, in a specific direction.
I think we're almost there. Stay here.
I remember being scared, like, I don't know if we're gonna make it out tonight. We're either gonna be stuck in here until daylight, or we're just not gonna make it out. So I go down to the left, ended up finding a track.
This way!
But we split up.
Jesse!
Seth?
I still couldn't see my brother Seth.
Where are you? Seth!
And then that's when I started to hear this rustling across the path.
Seth, where are you? Seth!
I could see broad, square shoulders covered in hair, a giant head, which was encased with these red eyes, and long flowing hair that drooped down onto the shoulders as well. The head was probably roughly the size of a good-sized pumpkin, and then the shoulders, my goodness, probably 4 feet across. I mean, the only thing I could compare it to would be a giant gorilla. So directly in front of the creature is this fallen tree. So that tree probably had to weigh at least a couple 100 pounds, maybe 300-400 pounds. And with one big hand, it just slammed it down onto the tree and pushed that tree out of the way with zero effort. That tree flew through the air, crashed through the woods.
Seth! Jesse!
Help! Seth!
This way! Seth! Jesse!
Seth, where are you? Seth!
I'm coming!
And I'm instantly filled with adrenaline. And I just turn 180 and I just start running to him.
And I'm standing there just in blank confusion. What am I seeing?
Jesse!
And then all of a sudden I hear crashing.
Jesse!
It sounded like a tree just crashing into the ground. You hear leaves, you hear sticks and water, everything crushing. That's what I hear.
Jesse! Jesse! Jesse!
As I got closer, I could see the eyes. They were so abnormally large there was intent in these eyes, and there was aggression in these eyes. In that moment, I'm scared. I had never really realistically been like, oh yeah, I might see a Bigfoot someday. But in that moment, I came to a point where I was like, there's nothing that this can be other than a Bigfoot.
Seth! Help!
And it was in that moment that that Bigfoot took off running.
Seth!
It was pitch black. I didn't have my flashlight on.
Jesse, where are you?
All I can remember is running in the dark.
The sound that it made was like a semi-truck driving through the woods. It was insane. I've never heard anything just crashing through the trees before like that. I'm hearing all these sounds, and I feel the ground vibrating with every step that it's taking.
Jesse! 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 I'm over here! Where did you go, man? I freaking lost you. You can't leave me like that. It's coming. We gotta go. Run!
I cannot believe that that just happened.
And then we finally find a path, and we're like, okay, this is it. Here's the van.
We get in the car, and it's just quiet. We're exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally. We need to get out of these woods. We need to get home. We need to get some rest. And we need to figure out what the heck just happened.
I remember having some struggle sleeping that night, and we went home and called it a night. And there was a lot to think about, a lot of stuff running through our heads. The very next day, I decided we were going to go out there and look for evidence. We got a camera, and we went trudging through these woods looking for anything and everything.
It's got to be around here somewhere, dude.
We went back out probably in the middle of the day so we could have some daylight to find this stuff.
Dude, that's the rock we passed last night. Look around. Where are we?
Boy. Dude. Check that out.
And I notice imprints in the mud. And I believe it was like 6 different prints. And they were very large footprints that were bigger than my foot. I'm a size 12. They were probably size 14 and much wider than most human feet.
Okay, so this here is the photo that Seth took the night after our experience. We have the base of the foot here, which was heavily imprinted in the woods there, or in the mud. And then up here you can start to see some of the definition of the toes as they wrap around and come back in to the indentation of the inside of the foot here. This dark line here is, again, the indentation of the foot being compressed into the mud itself. But it's clear that it's a naked foot imprinted in the ground.
It had to have been at least 600-700 pounds, at least, to leave these deep of imprints.
It's hard to think that it could be anything but Bigfoot. I'll never forget that, because I went from kind of skeptical on the whole Bigfoot thing to a full-blown believer in literally seconds
This experience, it made me a Bigfoot hunter.
I don't like this, man. We gotta get out of here.
Obviously, I delved way more into Bigfoot research, and I started to hear this common thing about people being confused during or before encounters with Bigfoot. Bigfoot's believed to be supernatural. As sci-fi as that sounds, this is what I found.
Just because there's not ample documentation of a creature does not mean that it does not exist. I know what I saw, and I know it was a Bigfoot.